My name's Alex Metcalf. I'm the General Manager here at Beauaraba Living. Beauaraba Living is a not-for-profit community-owned organisation, and we're very much part of the local community of Pittsworth, which is a rural community. We were looking for different built environments which would suit our model of care rather than adapting our model of care to the environment around us.
I'm Janet Newlands, I'm Director of Care Services at Beauaraba Living, and we felt that we could do better. We were very much wanting to head to the future for a building that would have longevity and provide quality of life and independence and maintain self-esteem and promote self-esteem for residents. We made the decision at board level to approach Paynters. After a few attempts, we came up with what we thought would be a gold standard with dementia care and aged care, going with the cottage or the house model.
I believe they're the pinnacle of the care and support services we provide here.
I love it. I love my room. I love to be able to walk outside when I want to. I have a lot of privacy. Well, I've been here nearly 6 years in March, and it's been wonderful, really wonderful.
The houses really allow the residents to engage in a normal living space. They all have their own houses within the unit. It promotes independent living. They can make a cup of tea if they would like one there. It's like a buffet style breakfast every day. We've had some of them say it's like living at a resort because they are surrounded with beautiful gardens and the plantation shutters, and they come here and don't feel like they're in a nursing home. They're here to progress with the rest of their life.
It's very open. It's very light. There's lots of windows, so I can see outside as well. If the residents go outside, I can see them from the kitchen. I don't need to follow them.
I'm over in Pampers and everybody's friendly and we're well looked after. I've got no complaints. I've just got to be thankful we've got it.
Beauaraba, compared to other facilities that I have previously worked at, it's a more welcoming environment for staff and residents. It's very relaxed, it's calming, the staff get along really well, the residents and the staff, they interact fantastically together. It's a family environment for staff and residents.
I like living here at Beauaraba because everyone's so helpful and I just know they help me whatever I have to do, and they show me around. It's wonderful. All I can ask for is what they give for me.
I'm a very strong advocate for aged care and quality of life for people. I believe that these residents worked really hard in their younger lives, and we've all got what we have because of how they live their lives. So I believe that they deserve the very best.
I love it out there. It's beautiful to go out there when the sun's shining and flowers are starting to come through. There's been some beautiful shrubs that they're getting on now with the bit of rain that we've been having. It's been wonderful, really great. And it's so pleasant, so lovely. Go out there, you can take a book, sit and read, or you can just have a cup of tea out there if you want to have your cup of tea out there. It's really lovely, very, very nice.
Hello, my name's Janelle. Mum is a resident here, has been for about 19 months now. Very happy with the new facility in particular. When she first came in, she was in one of the older areas of the facility at Beauaraba Living, and while it was nice and she was well looked after, it was still drab, the units were small. I didn't look into the new facility for quite some time, and one morning I was speaking to Janet and she said, would you like to come and have a look? Showed me what rooms were available, and before I'd left, half an hour later I said, well, put Mum's name on that room. My mother is an excellent cook, a show judge, a state show judge. That was one of the first things she lost, and she lost it probably 5 years before she came in, was her ability to follow a recipe.
No, I'm not good at talking. I'd sooner make you a cake.
We were noticing like Mum would have a decline, a severe decline, and then she would plateau for 2 or 3 months and there'd be another sharp decline. Since entering into the cottage, and she's in Pampers, it's a gradual decline. She's not having the sharp drops. We're all blown away by the facility, the style, the layout, even the size of the rooms, and they painted nice colours and homely colours that the older people like, the community living, the community dining. When Mum was in the older part of the facility, she would go out for her meals and go straight back to her room, whereas now I quite often come and find her out in the community area, sitting having her coffee. Apparently she's taking on a bit of a mothering role, helping those a bit more disabled than she is physically, because physically Mum is great.
Well, I just make sure they've got whatever they need and ask them if they need anything, and I just talk to them and help them if I can. And I love doing it.
This type of household model fits in with the national standards because it's focused around respect, dignity, privacy and independent choice. So every resident has their own input and they're always consulted with everything.
What I enjoy the most about working over in the cottages is that it's a very open, home-like experience for the residents. They're relaxed, they are calmer, there's no set schedule, so they can do things as they please. So they're not rushed to do things at a certain time. They communicate more with each other because there's more of a social setting, so they're able to interact with each other and staff. They're heavily involved in the activities with them, so they're able to talk to the staff more. There is less behaviours, they're not as aggressive towards staff or other residents.
We offer activities, have breakfast, or if someone's hungry at any time, they can help themselves to the fridge, cupboards, the pantry, make a cup of tea.
We focus on the abilities, not the inabilities or disabilities of the residents. It is really important to their own self-value and worth to be able to do things rather than have it taken away from them.
Being independent is quite good, and I think helping others is another good thing we can do. I hand out different things to the residents. It makes me feel that I'm useful, that I am doing something for someone, which is fantastic really, to have that feeling that you can help. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
It means that I'm doing something, keeping me active, my brain, I'm remembering things. It's very, very good, excellent.
No, we have our own rooms, very quiet at night time, so no problems.
I do. I'm into bed at 8 o'clock at night and usually awake at 3 in the morning, but I sleep. It's been marvellous. The room is beautiful, larger, bathroom is beautiful, bigger. The outdoor area, instead of having to walk up and go out into the street, I can go and walk around the courtyard. It's beautiful, really is lovely.
Residents are encouraged to be involved in all the choices that they make here, so they are involved in the building of the activity planners. They get involved in even the colours that we chose for the building, which was very important for wayfinding.
The design team at Paynters came up with a rural sort of look to the colour scheme, which suits us here.
And we do get a lot of farming background and members from our community come in. So I think that even the colours and the scheme that we use really represents who we are as a facility, but it also represents who our residents are, how their homes would be at home.
There's a tonal difference with our colours, because some people think that what we see as being different, that the ageing eye, people with dementia see as being different, which isn't actually the case. You need tonal differences. Just a lot of which would seem small design features, but things like different shelving behind the beds and things like that, which facilitate the residents being able to personalise them. They form memory prompts for them, but also then when we looked at the colour of the furnishings and the tiles, for example, we use red in the kitchen, which stimulates appetite. You go into the bedrooms and there's a different colour tile behind the toilet in the bathroom, which again, it makes the toilet stand out, promotes independence. There's a light above the toilet. There's just so many design features. The more you look, when you walk around the cottages, the more you see.
And it had a huge impact on residents finding their way around the facility, and the fact that we've got a home, essentially, that is fully functional.
We've needed to act upon what we're saying we're going to do, and we need to ensure that the whole team is working together in pulling one direction. We have a philosophy here where there is no one person is more important than another in this role, and we just have different jobs that we need to do.
We used to be told that the patients come first, and a very wise old senior sister once told me that it's actually your staff that come first, which is true. Because if you have the right staff, you don't need to worry about your level of care, it will happen.
So working in the house is a very relaxed atmosphere. It's just like being at home. It's a very small environment, so we don't need to go long distances, so it's a lot less walking.
The relationships that the staff have between each other, we work really well together. We do work as a team, we support each other.
We have that shared goal to have the best outcome for the residents. And a lot of staff will work across roles. So you will find a cleaner will assist a resident with commencing an activity. Nursing staff work with activities as well. They will run some activities, or they will encourage residents to run those activities. And the lifestyle staff get fully involved in everything that happens.
Well, we get looked after wherever we are in here. I can't complain about this place. I think it's a credit to the ones that run it, and I'd like to help if I can.
Whenever I need help, I can always get someone to help me, always. Everybody seems to be happy and all get together, it's quite a nice, nurses, all the staff, they're very good, and very rare is there any quietness around. It's always a rowdy bunch down there, actually.
As I say, they're all number one. So what more can we ask for?
That's true.
As I say, we're truly blessed.
A lot of staff here have been here for quite a long time. They seem to enjoy the job, and they do hang around.
We don't have any issues recruiting staff. We have worked very hard, and I think this is probably like the icing on the cake, if you like. We have worked very hard to put a career structure in place, which probably isn't always the same for all of aged care. But I think because of the model and the house model, it's actually allowed for people that think they mightn't be able to manage in aged care, not just your registered staff, but sometimes like your carers, because one of the things that we are in the process of doing is, instead of necessarily just recruiting carers, if somebody comes along and they might apply for a housekeeping or hotel services position, we said, well, are you interested in providing care? Yes, well then you would actually be suitable for our cottage model, because then sometimes they don't need a certificate 3, they may only need a certificate 2. So it is that upskilling just into that area. We have a number of employment agencies contact us on a regular basis offering to help with staffing, and I said, well, I actually have a waiting list. Oh.
So I've only been a nurse for 3.5 years, and this is my first job as a registered nurse. I wanted to be an ED nurse, so I want to be a fast-paced nurse working in the grip of it. So I'm still here 3.5 years later, and I can't see myself ever leaving Beauaraba.
I believe the philosophy that we're running with is really a way of the future in aged care. The institutionalised models that we've had in the past just don't provide the level of care and service and support that they need to do for our residents. Our residents need to be able to have choice, need to live their lives in dignity.
And I'm very proud to work in there. I laugh with the residents. Sometimes I cry with the residents, but it's very homely, and I think that's what's important. It's their home, and I just work with them.
We've got people who come here who don't have dementia but would love to live in those units. Even from the doctors that came through when we first got the units, the memory support area, they were like, book me in, I'm coming too. So
We have no need to complain at all, do we? As I say, we're truly blessed.